Alright, Aquarius, here are the messages for November 2025. Still keeping this going. You know, I appreciated your messages and Scorpio's message. They went hand in hand. Obviously, it could be because Pluto, I don't know if it's still in the sign of Aquarius. It's very funny how these connections, it shows up in the readings. You know, the words, they say the words describe the qualities or characteristics of a planet. So I think the attachment fits perfectly for your sign. And that's helpful in a sense because I wrote for Scorpio and you, it could stop emotional energy being detached, or patient or giving space stops emotional energy, right? And those are actions you can take. You know, giving space is a very powerful action. Sometimes we feel like, I notice giving space feels like we're not getting anywhere. So, and that's the beauty. You know, it's like, simple example, oh, this situation ain't shit. Then you come to realize, oh, you didn't get the notification. Oh, shit. You just now seen the phone didn't give you the notification, but there was a message. So you can see these videos like that, you know. You got to take the message out so you get the notification when it happens in real time. So you'll have the message, you'll have the cheat code to get you through the situation, which you could be you feeling through the situation, feeling past what you feel. A very powerful ability. Giving yourself space before your memories or beliefs take over. So you give yourself control. So what I'll do first is read what I wrote. I wrote 2 quotes. I watched October's messages that I filmed recently and wrote what messages I got out of it again versus what I wrote when I watched it after I filmed it, you know, more in the beginning of October. So we're going to see how these quotes line up or how I condense them. So which one could actually help more, or they're both together helpful. It says for you, Aquarius, October 2025, we need to persevere. We need to prove to ourselves through strength that our personality works. Don't ever assume you're not connecting or not doing anything. Why do you believe that? Accept exactly the way this system works. Find a way to give it space in your day. Why do you need to detach from how you feel? What are your emotions telling you? Is it cultivating you or tearing you down? Accept being in the dark about people and still connecting accept being in the dark about people and still connecting though you don't know the full story. Allow more clarity to show up while in the dark. Yes. I always write about let yourself rant, but still leave space for what's the truth, you know. And now for the second watch, more, you know, or I really want to say 2 weeks after the video, I watched it again. And I wrote, Aquarius, accept being in the dark about people, relax and persevere with your own lenses or personality. What connection are you persevering with? Feeling disconnected is part of the process or system. Just trust in the dark. Leave space for the truth after you rant. Or complain or whatever. Or vent, right? Give people the patience or the space to be themselves. The freedom. You know. And when I wrote patience, I wrote Scorpio. So, yeah, give people the patience, Scorpio, or the space to be themselves. Freedom. In quotation marks, right? Or in parentheses. So, I gotta turn the fan on real quick. Hold on. One sec. Okay. Alright. So apparently that would have helped minimize those emotions. And when I put it in those words, you're just giving people space. That's an action to take. Giving people space, you know? Because it can sound like, oh, you're banishing, or life's banishing, you know, you or them, right? When in fact, you know, you give people time to actually come to the understanding of the realization. You know, you actually let yourself off the hook and trust that you played the right moves, you put in the right actions. this is a great mentality. You believe in the potential of it. You believe you know, put out the right work, the good efforts they're seen. So the ace is great potential, great feeling. So, and that is an available, yes, present in it. So, and this is beautiful because it's like the last obstacle in a sense. You know, once you realize, okay, it may be observations, it may be my timing, or me taking in things, just leaving it at that page and not allowing the full, story to show, because that may actually cook these emotions, bring out these emotions, the flavor of these emotions, the feelings better actually. So it's a serious game. So let's see detail number 1. They are amazing. The world, great powerful card. Detail number 2. 6 Pentacles in reverse. Detail number 3. So then the 5 of Swords is that defeatist mentality. This ain't shit. This ain't working. This ain't fun. It's good that it makes these emotions heavier, because it actually, if you have the flip side mentality, you go, okay, then I can actually use these for amazing focuses and making the day, I'll turn this into a good day, somehow. No one has the right to feel like shit. No one has the right to put that onto other people. So no matter what has happened, especially if they haven't literally done anything. But sometimes that's the problem. They haven't done anything. So, and this is what's affecting you. And this is that feeling. So-and-so hasn't done anything. Nothing has happened. And you have no idea. Sometimes these thoughts are made to soothe us, but they actually keep us more, upset. I know how serious and how fast it could get unnecessarily heavy and tense. But what will make it even faster is believing you're not shit. Simply. It's a good exercise, You would feel like what riding the wave feels like when you just feel against what you truly feel, which is you actually are seeing this is not an experience. I'm totally coloring this experience. So, how people see you, which I'm starting to realize that doesn't really matter, because the results speak for themselves. Available mentality. Yep. Emperor. Here's the outcome. Ah, nice. The very, very, very best. 4 Cups in reverse. Yeah. So I didn't even clarify the page source, but I really believe, I don't like making, it could be characters, people try, and it could be communication, words. You gotta break it down to the simple terms, You're gonna need a pen and pad to just jot down thoughts that convince you're not shit, convince you. It's weird how we would laugh at how we take in situations. We really should laugh at how we observe and add it up and take it in and make this calculation. But it's good because you keep slapping yourself to what you think is you, and then eventually, you're able to see, okay, that's not that serious. You'll see it because you'll just realize, okay, this doesn't match up at all. Or you'll just get so tired you won't even care. You'll just forget to even think, forget to feel negative. You'll just be in the middle, or just blur out. Just That's why I like instrumental music, you know, because it's just no ideas being pushed. Just, okay, you riff on your feelings. That's what I do. I freestyle in my mind, or riff, or rap, you know, or just feel, you know, scenes in my head. That's why I like different music. But there's a necessary feeling. You know, you give your space for feelings. Maybe that's what I've been doing this whole time, you know. Giving space for how I feel. Like, what does this make me feel, you know. Let me see what this page is. Yeah. It was exaggerated, heavily exaggerated. Heavily. You don't worry. You just, I'm available and I'm not even, you know. So this is what I'm seeing more about Aquarius, because I realized I did some certain reading. I'll be honest, I used ChatGPT, and when I put my chart in there, it gave me a whole different set of houses. And I used my mentality, right? I start switching up the messages, and then I'm like, okay, it gave me Leo for my first house for some reason. And so the 7th is Aquarius. So in a book I read, you know, that the 7th house is really like the shadow parts of you that you need to embrace, or you actually project onto others. And it could be the 8th house too, right? It's really you that others, you know, you project onto others, or stuff like that, essentially. That may be qualities you actually have that you aren't recognized, that they must have in order. And if you get that mentality or understanding. So, for example, you know, when I did that, it made more sense, you know. So something happened that, I don't know how it calculated it, but it switched up the houses, and apparently it made more sense, you know, in a sense. So I switched my first house to Leo, and then, you know, went from there. So then Taurus, my first house originally Taurus, is now the 10th house. And then across to Scorpio in the 4th house, where I had Leo in the 4th house originally. So Mars and Leo, but all these planets are Scorpio. Anyway. So and the moon in the 1st house, Gemini. So that might have been the connection why it could be Leo in the 1st house, I guess. But that's how the power of the messages work. Somehow, I got lucky when I did that. I was just like, okay, I put my date of birth and stuff in there, and it calculated completely different houses. You know. And then I did it again. It was all basic and the same. So I was like, I saved the first one immediately. And I was like, this is information. This is a calculation. So I'm so psyched about it. But the point of the message was, when I perceive other people, them being detached, them having connection, them knowing how to move, them looking great in rapport with others, being better than me, I perceive them being better than me at connecting with others. That's what I truly feel when I see them out. I always assume, damn, they're doing better, they have better, they're just better at connecting completely. Look at them, they get each other. God damn it. So what if that's how others felt, you know, when they see me, but I projected onto them? Yeah. But the point of it is also like, you operate good without these people, and vice versa. You also operate good, you know. So what does that mean, though? So to embrace that feeling somehow, that, you know, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means someone is too specific in what they're looking for, what they're taking in. It means you're looking for something when you really have this view of it. Because this is your present energy. There is connection. But, hold on. Okay. Anyway, but what you're looking for, so what is this you're looking for? Let's see, what is this we're looking for with these pages? Why do you want to hold on to this? Why? What is this? So the moon, what you want, settle. It's memories though. It's like 5 of Pentacles. There's a self-focus, self-want right there. 3 of Cups with the 4 Wands in reverse. See, and this is what leads you to be... This can help a relationship, but the reality of it is, it's not based on a real foundation. This is not a good enough reason. And that is good that life does that to you. Like, this is, you're not being valid. This is an obstacle you're making that you're trying to persevere through. You're making this obstacle, giving this more of a cycle, you know. And of course, it's only showing you this is not how it's going to come to be, you know. So, and the power is in reversing that, actually realizing, you know, what does it mean, you know, why. Then you work, it's going to be working towards being all clear. Exactly. This is when you're resting in the not growing or the perceived not working. It's all you're perceiving something as not being helpful or working for some reason. You don't perceive this as building. This is the magic of letting go of shit. And I knew growing up, women knew this shit growing up. They knew how to self-amuse themselves. Girls were smart. They knew how to like keep themselves occupied and shit. It was very like, I'm like, they know subtly like to not worry in the meantime. So very smart. You know, you feel bad. You feeling bad for being self-amused because it's like you're not tripping about what's going on. And then situations, subtle things will happen that, why does it feel like so-and-so is all tripping about? Like, what the hell? What do you mean? And Aquarius, why is your card coming out like that? That could just be a strong feeling. Yep. Yeah. Your card's in reverse with the Chariot, so it's like, I ain't tripping about, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn. I'll stick to this mode. Fuck it. I am dandy. So what will help this out? Yep, all about desires. You know to stay. So what will help? Trying to accept what it is. So let's see. 4 of Cups. Seeing the deeper lesson in it, most likely. Because it means you're allowing something to be the problem when it really is not a problem. So there is connection around. It's a maturity lenses to help you crumble this insecure view, you know, be more in alignment with it, be more in line, more questioning of these feelings of against, when it's just learning how to give patience and give space, and that's another action you can take. I told you and Aries, I think I said this too. But for some reason, you're able, with this card, this is the completion card. You've leveled up. And what my messages are trying to do, what they do actually is in real time help you understand, okay, you most likely, or you're wanting this and rather not allowing yourself to be involved and attached to the process. So this available mentality is you know, needing to pay attention to this, you know, because Emperor, it's about handling duties, seriousness, taking yourself seriousness, but can you take yourself serious with no available pathway or foundation? And not feeling like you're not able to invest in this part of yourself or this light ease of a situation, but there's more to be revealed, more levels. See, and it brings out, this only brings out issues or the true unresolved forceful nature. So again, self-esteem. My readings are so fucking simple. Okay. I'm gonna watch these videos over and over because I know, like, there's things that do not need to upset me. Apparently, this is progress. This is progress. This is great potential in the month. You will feel connected. So most likely, it's through the not connecting. You'll feel more connection, which will make you feel disconnected if you pay attention. Because you're being specific again. You're reverting back to why. When you subtly think about that, you're subtly saying why. You know. And then the only example I could use, well, I could use two examples, right? Of course, video games, you know, sometimes the game lets you know you're leveling up. You've leveled up. And other times, you know, in life or in a game, you may get attacked out of nowhere. Have to take a lick out of nowhere. You know. Both situations, you can't go looking for it. It just happens, you know. It can be a positive anticipation of, you know, or it's an acceptance, which you giving space, again, I have to say this, I feel like this is very powerful. You giving space, patience for others, right? Or for things to be revealed is detachment. And is a healthy, very healthy way to stop emotional energy, actually. So you could just stay involved in the day because that's you giving space and patience for things to be revealed, for people to maybe get the understanding, you know. Letting life, you know, do its job. So they're the messages, Aquarius. Truly. Yeah. Because this also creates an effect. It creates a domino effect to feel like this. And this is the beauty of getting these outcomes. This is actually positive because you understand how to cultivate these reactive emotions. You actually get them under hold, and you can tell when you're just reacting, you know, and actually need to have more respect for your reality. I said this to Cancer, put more trust back into your reality. And this is you putting more trust back into the day so you don't blame your reality or blame someone in your reality. Reactive, emotional nature, right? Because they have this wolf and they have the dog, which is art, nature, but cultivation. And then I like seeing the moon here as wholeness. You know, we're supposed to go beyond all these, you know, I believe observations are taking in. You just go beyond. I see the circle as wholeness. So it just kind of takes over all this whole thing. So, but I remember the moon was about programming your mind correctly with the right ideas, thoughts, and because ironically, I am into people from the South. I'm into the simplicity and the deep. I feel like with people who, anyone who farms or just does work, I don't know why I only think of people in the South as doing that, but people who are hands-on, they have this simple nature to them that solves situations without even needing to come to the spiritual side. Like they just have this full wholeness view of just being involved, and through their own lives, being involved in lives, they found the simple phrases that can embody situations and lessons. So not even needing to go to these books and astrology and the stars and your signs. And I love that, because it's simple. And you just trust, you have more trust in you being able to take care and handle the situation. That's just cool. Like, I got it, I'll fix it, I'll rig it, I'll make it work, Doesn't matter the obstacle. Like, there's something cool about tough, People who deal with the animals, the actual things that could kill you, forces that could kill you, But they handle them so well. They make a life for themselves. It's probably crazy hard work, but like looking at them, all you see is them making butter, like their own jelly and shit, their own food, eggs, and you just go, man, like they ain't gotta worry. It's a lot of work, but that's what I like. And then there's also the readings, I fuse this southern spiritual. It's already there, but just connecting the dots with the spiritual readings. And why it's so simple to just let it be, right? Give space. You're giving space for your life to show you actually work. You actually do make sense. And somehow life will deliver you to things when you trust life. It's weird. But life knows when you truly trust life or not. In these situations you feel insecure, you're simply not believing life has a way to bring you out of this. I like making it about life, the world. You could say other things, right? But it's easier to say, it could be because your signs, I got Taurus rising, a lot of Scorpio placements. These are slow-moving, fixed energies. Also, Moon in Gemini is only fast, analyzation of it. Look at me ranting. I hadn't spoke too much, Aquarius. But yes, that's where I was going with it. I'm really into the simplicity of people who deal with things hands-on. Letting it fall off the bone is a phrase a person who cooks some ribs told me. He's like, you just let it fall off the bone. I cooked them that long, they'll fall off the bone, you heat them up. So, and letting it fall off the bone felt like the process will take away all the, I guess the meat falling off the bone is the essential. But the bone was important too, but it's really about the meat, But you need the bones to hold on, and then then you are able to be taken in, digested, tasted, right? Tasted, felt, experienced. And that's a more better experience than just eating it. And there's a few pieces stuck that you didn't really get to see, So life is really you are a fruit. You are clearly a fruit. You are clearly ripening, and for some reason people want to be picked now and not even have the full flavor. So life is telling you there's more levels you have to hit within yourself to see that you're actually on point. So the more you allow this to be a problem, the more the process is going to remain the process, because you're not getting that next level understanding. So there are the messages, Aquarius, for November 2025. And these are powerful cheat codes, and all you have to do is just remind yourself, you're giving you space. You're giving others space, which is patience, being detached, which is stopping emotional energy. Let's see if you ace the month. You're going to ace the month. Watching this video, if you're watching this video, you are acing the month. You will ace the month immediately. And you will progress in what you would perceive as a problem. You would turn this into an amazing opportunity by trusting your life, your reality. So that's what it's ultimately all about in situations. When to trust your world and when to actually trust yourself, which is you trusting yourself for the world. Later, Aquarius, November 2025. You already know to like, share, subscribe for more messages. This is your spiritual pill for those symptoms of the month.